Good morning, everyone. Today is Wednesday, the 15th of April 2026. We're all gathering this time, as usual, to show our respect and veneration to the Buddha for his kindness and compassion towards all sentient beings. And we are very fortunate to be born during his dispensation is still here, despite 2,500 years later. And we are very fortunate to have this opportunity to learn the Dhamma and a practice to find the path and the fruition, to find the real happiness here in this life or in their future. We are still on the discourse that given to the Singala, a man who went out early morning as he promised to his dead father, early morning, and have a bath in the river, and with wet hair and wet clothes, wearing respecting the 6 directions. And the Buddha came up to help him to do the right paying respect in all 6 directions. But Buddha didn't straight away explain the 6 directions, but laid the foundation ground to establish lay followers to be in a right and a dutiful way. So he started off with morally stabilizing or practicing, that's not killing, not stealing, not adultery, not speaking lies, and not speaking lies. And in the meantime, after that he was teaching that not taking intoxications or not, any alcohol and drugs. So these taking alcohol and drugs are is actually a part of losing the wealth or dissipating the wealth. And there are 6 things that makes our wealth lose. And one of the first one is the taking alcohol and drugs, and the second is wandering around in the late night, and then the third one is going for cinemas frequently, gambling, and then gambling and associating with the bad ones, bad friend, having a bad friends, and also the last one is the being lazy. And yesterday I explained about the intoxication or taking drugs and alcohols, and it's the reason of losing, one of the reasons of losing the wealth. It reminds me that back in those days when I was a young man, there was a shop in our village. That shop sells the only alcohol and the drugs, and people travel far and wide. And there are people drunk and walking around, and with that there are a couple of stories that they did not have money to pay, but they always go and drink. So with that there were fightings, and then with that fight, some of them quite often went into the jail because of the fight. And with that they have to bail, and then with that bailing, some of them even lose their lands. Not only losing their lands because of the bailing or going into courts. And this owner himself gave these alcohols in um, what is it called? You pay later. You drink now, you pay later.
Give and take.
Give and take.
Give and take.
Give,
Take.
take. Or give and a take. Okay. So with a given and a take, and it becomes so much that the record shows that the drinker he could not pay off. So as a result, they lose their land, and yet still they can't stop drinking. So that's the another reason I can see why Buddha was instructing that lay followers should avoid drinking. And in the meantime, with the drinking, as the people having a party, somehow after drink they go on to fight quite often, and this fighting can cause sometimes can cause very deep scars and also long-term bad what is called bad records. Bad records in their life, and then they want to work good work but they can't because of the records. There's one of my friend, he after finished school, I joined the monkhood, but he continued stayed working, and somehow one of the nights he went on drinking and had a fight. And with that fight, he thought that that wasn't his fault, so he could not hold on to his anger, and he went on fighting. And with that fight, he broke another person's hand. So then he was taken to the police and stayed in the police custody, and he had to pay for the person's broken hand and also all other liabilities. And in the meantime, he went on to the court and stayed in prison for some times. And after he was released from the prison, he wanted to go and find a job, but many places rejected simply because he had been in the prison due to this fight. And he felt very sad, and he thought that I wish he didn't do that, like that. Similarly, there are quite a number of stories in Buddhist scripture that we come across that when Buddha met and what Buddha instructed. There's one particular a family with only a boy, only a child of a wealthy family. Somehow, because of he caught up with the drinking alcohol, and after their parents passed away, he went onto the street, and he was begging food for his living. And even in begging food, he didn't know how to beg food. So it happened that a Buddha walking along with the Venerable Ananda, and Buddha just smiled, and Venerable Ananda noticed his smile. So after arrived at the temple, Venerable Ananda asked that why Tathagata, the Lord, today smiled having seen that man who was begging. And then the Buddha told his story, told his biography, that once he was a wealthy boy, wealthy child, but because of the drinking, he lost everything. Buddha also further said that if he didn't drink and found the Buddha a little earlier, there is a capability of enlightenment. That's why he smiled at him. So like that. So that's why drinking, even here in the UK, in Scotland, I have seen quite a lot as well due to the drinking. lots of a family problem as well as a loss of wealth. Our very close a friend of our center who have been working with me for a long time had also lost quite a bit of assets due to the drink. So after drinking, he went on to have an affair, and with that affair, broke a family broke, and with that family breaking, he had to sell the house, and then he had to divide all the assets and also family divisions and so on. So that's why Buddha did not simply lay down this rule as a rule that one should follow, but there are consequences that why this is one of the reasons people lose their wealth or a loss of wealth. So if we practice of not drinking, that basically will help to keep our wealth intact. There are many Buddhists who call themselves as a Buddhist too, but whenever there is a parties, they could not have a party without the alcohol, and that's quite in a way inappropriate. But as a monk, we cannot say that you should not do that regularly, otherwise they will be not happy. But however, this should be directed and pointed out again and again, so that our Buddhist members will practice at least mindful drinking, so that just for partying, one what's called one pint, just the one pint is enough, like that. And similarly, I remember there are members who doesn't like to come because there is no alcohol involved. So like that. But when there is a party with alcohol involved, everybody drawn into, and in the meantime, that causes quite a lot of troubles. Anyway, so this is the reason why Buddha laid down, and that's why Buddha said that this will help. This will be cause to loss of the wealth in this very life, and quarrels, and also diseases that people will face, and bad reputation, and our intelligence also weakens. So again, we are still on the first cause of wealth, losing wealth stories. So we'll continue next time. I will stop here and let's do the chanting. So may you all be well and happy with this. May help you to regain your consciousness and be mindful of your way of living to maintain your wealth. Let's do the chanting.